What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my DFS PGA picks for the Workday Charity Open. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another DFS PGA Picks video. This time we are breaking down the Workday Charity Open, coming off of a decent week last week, a winning week, bounced back from the week 2 weeks ago where it was crazy, like all these chalk golfers missed the cut, but this week is a lot better. Bryson won, obviously. He was my second highest owned golfer behind Victor Hovland, who was my first, who did good as well. I think he finished like 12th. It was a good, profitable week for me. Hopefully you guys did good as well. My cash lineup hit. Even with only 5 out of 6 golfers making the cut. The one who missed the cut was Patrick Reed. Really surprised me, but was able to have 5 other golfers who did good and ended up cashing fairly easy in that. But before we get started, if you guys can like this video, also subscribe if you haven't yet. Really appreciate that. And I just wanted to kind of go over my model and what you guys get into with the $5 membership on Patreon. This model took me like 2 months to create. Have the golfer stats all here. I put stars, if you see the stars next to them, and the stats we're going to be looking for that we need to look at over at this course. You have all the stats here, and then to the right you have the rankings, and then I also put stars next to those, so it's just really easy to navigate and see what golfers are what in the rankings and all that. And of course you got my targets page, my projections page, my rankings, lineup percentages, an example cash build that has hit 3 out of 4 times since I've started doing PGA, since I returned doing PGA this season. So yeah, pretty good stuff there. Only $5 a month. I don't think you can get a better price out there, and lots of value on there as well. But getting back to the video, we are going to first start by going over the course and some of the stats we're looking at for this week. The course is I think it's pronounced Merrifield Golf Club, par 72, 7,456 yards, 4 par 3s, 10 par 4s, 4 par 5s, and top 65 makes the cut. Some key stats we're going to look for this week: par 5 average strokes gain off the tee, par 4 average strokes gain on approach, birdie or better percentage, bogey avoidance, current form since the return from the layoff, and course history as well. And with that said, let's get into my picks here. As always, I'm going to give you guys my top like 20 plays, but as you know, throughout the week I'm going to be adding plays into my player pool for the people on Patreon. So if you guys want to get the extra plays and rankings, all that, just sign up on Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. But here are my top plays as of now. 10K and up range, we will start with Justin Thomas, 11,100. I don't love it, but he's a talented player. He's a hit or miss player, but when he's on, he's on. Poor performance his last time in a stacked field. He did miss the cut, so this should lower his ownership quite a bit. And he has the ability to win any tournament, any week, and that's why I'll have some Justin Thomas. Like I said, I don't love it, but he has the ability to win any week, so I'll have some just for that reason. Patrick Cantlay, someone who I like a lot this week, probably one of my favorite golfers this week. He won here last year, average finish of 9 in his last 5 tournaments, 3rd in strokes gained on approach, 3rd in par 4 average, 1st in birdie or better percentage, and he finished 11th in his first tournament back. So the layoff did not hurt him. It looked like he looked very good, and I'm going to have a decent amount of Patrick Cantlay this week. Xander Schauffele, 10,200, finished 14th here last year, average finish at 24.8 this season, 6th in strokes gained off the tee, 2nd in par 4 average, 3rd in bogey avoidance, 8th in birdie or better percentage. I like Xander. 10,200 is not bad. Honestly, I think it's going to be a little bit hard to come up and pay for these guys with there not being much value on the slate. Like, you really got to dig in that 6K range. I mean, I'm going to give you 2 guys in the 6K range, but I really had to dig, and I see some guys I'm looking at, but there's not much there in that 6K range, so might not go up in this 10K range much. Maybe go up there and get Cantlay. Is probably my favorite golfer in this range, but as for getting Thomas, I think it's going to be challenging this week. Hideki Matsuyama, 10,000. First of all, I like the price. He finished 21st his last tournament. Looked very, very good. Won here in 2014. 4th in strokes gained on approach. 12th in par 4 average. 5th in birdie or better percentage. He has a decent price with high upside, so I don't mind Hideki. He's probably one of my top 2 plays in this range. Cantlay, Hideki. Like them both quite a bit. Xander, Thomas, they're good plays. I just don't know how much I'm going to have of them. All right, getting into the 9K range. Not much here, but Justin Rose, he is 9,700. Great history here. He's finished in the top 10, 5 out of 8 tournaments, including a win. He struggled early in the year, but seems to be back now, finishing in the top 20 in 2 of his last 3 tournaments. Rose, has been looking like himself lately. He started off the year very, very bad. DraftKings priced him down. He's now priced up to 9,700. I like Rose here as long as he keeps the momentum rolling. Has been doing good. I think he missed the cut, one of his last 3 tournaments, but other than that, he's been looking pretty decent. Not too much of a stacked field this week, so I think he can succeed this week as well. Victor Hovland, 9,500, another play that I really, really like this week. He's been amazing as of recent with finishes of 23, 21, 11, and 12. He fits his course very, very well and has a lot of upside. If he can keep the momentum going, I think he can do very, very good at this golf course. 4th in strokes gained off the tee as well, and 5th in strokes gained on approach. Very, very good stat fit, very good player. He's been hot since the return. I'm going to keep playing him. 9,500 is not bad. I like him quite a bit. Colin Morikawa, 9,200. He missed the cut for the first time all season last tournament. That was the tournament where all the best plays missed the cut. It seemed like it was a very, very weird tournament. You had scrubs that were in the 6,000s in the top 10 at times, and then all these studs missing the cut. It was a very weird tournament. Kind of got to forget about that here with Morikawa. He's a very, very good golfer. He did make 13 cuts in a row this year before that miscut. He's 2nd in strokes gained on approach, 17th in birdie or better percentage. I think he's going to bounce back here. 9,200, I'm willing to take a shot at that. I like him quite a bit. Might go back to him in cash. I had him in cash 2 weeks ago when he missed the cut. He made 23 cuts, in a row, and then finally missed that cut, which really surprised me and a lot of people as well. But probably going to go back to him. One bad performance, nothing hurt there. So yeah, I do like Morikawa quite a bit. Going into the 8K range, this range is stacked, and there even is going to be some golfers that I'm eyeing that I'm going to be adding in this range throughout the week as well. This range is absolutely loaded. I'm probably going to start most of my builds with 2 or 3 guys in this range. But Sungjae Im, he's 8,900. He finished 57th here last year, finished 58 at his last tournament. Looked decent in his last tournament. He struggled at times. 12th in par 4 average, 10th in birdie or better percentage. He's a great stat fit, just needs to get going, and this could be the week. 8,900 does have a lot of upside. I'm willing to take a shot on Sungjae Im. Patrick Reed, 8,800. Average finish of 30 here, and his best finish being 8th. He did miss the cut last tournament, which is probably going to lower his ownership a little bit. 4th in strokes gained putting, 7th in par 4 average, and 3rd in birdie or better percentage. Patrick Reed got me last week, had him in cash. Luckily the other 5 guys, McNeely, Hubbard, those guys, Doc Redman, all saved me. But I was really surprised that Reed missed the cut last week in a field that was, not stacked at all. So I don't know. Maybe he bounces back here. 8,800 is very intriguing for, Patrick Reed, but I don't know. He hasn't been doing too well, but he can always pop off at any time. Patrick Reed's a very talented golfer. 8,800, it's definitely worth a shot. Matt Kuchar, 8,500, fantastic history here with 7 top 20s in 9 tournaments here, including finishes of 4, 4, 1, 2, and 8. He's been very, very solid this year with an average finish of 34.2 in his last 5 tournaments. I think it's a great cash play. I like playing Kuchar in cash. He's someone who, doesn't really go up there and get top 5s usually, but he does make the cut quite a bit, so I like him in cash. GPP, there's some decent upside. I can see him making the cut. He has great history here. I like Kuchar quite a bit. Joaquin Niemann, 8,400, finishes of 27 and 6 here. Finishes of 63, 5, and 32 since the return of PGA. So he's been pretty decent. Extremely solid stats for Niemann here all around. And he does have some really high upside at his price of 8,400. Niemann's one of these golfers that can go out there and he can get a top 10. And at 8,400, I think that's a pretty decent price for him. And he's been having success at this course, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had another great finish this week. Gary Woodland, 8,300. First of all, he's way underpriced here, but I can understand why DraftKings is pricing him down here consistently because he hasn't really done much. Average finish of 42 in his last 5 tournaments here, so not the best course history here. But he does have an average finish of 32 this season. He's 7th in strokes gained on approach, 12th in par 4 average, 4th in bogey avoidance, and 7th in birdie or better percentage. All the stats is here for Gary Woodland to have a great week. It's just Willie, I don't know. He's been very, very underwhelming. I play him every week at this price. How can you not play Gary Woodland at 8,300? That's just way too cheap. And hopefully this is the week where he pops off and has a good finish because he's more than capable of having a good finish. Hopefully that week off maybe helped him a little bit. I don't know, but I'm going to have a decent amount of Woodland, so hopefully he gets it going. Adam Hadwin, probably my second or third favorite play in this 8K range. I like him a lot. Average finish of 42 here, which does include a fourth place finish. But he's been extremely solid since returning from the break with finishes of 41, 43, and 4. Had a fantastic, fourth round last week. That was awesome. I had Hadwin in cash as well, so that was sweet. Has made 10 out of 11 cuts this season. He's a cut maker. I love him in cash. Going to keep playing him in cash. As for GPP, I think there's upside there as well. 8,200 is a decent price for Adam Hadwin. He's one of my favorite plays in that range. All right, going in the 7K range, honestly not liking this range that much. I'm in love with the 8K range. 10K range a little underwhelming. 9K range is fine, but 7K range is okay. I'll start with Ben On. He's 7,900. Very good here. Finishes of 17, 2, 25, and 11. He's kind of struggled this year, but he does have some good upside, as always. Pretty much a course history play with a guy who is capable of doing very well in Ben On. 7,900, great course history. Maybe he gets it going here. 7,900 is not bad. Scotty Scheffler, 7,800. This made me mad. Like, Scotty Scheffler, very, very talented golfer. He went +7 on Thursday last week. +7, was last in the field, in a field that was, very underwhelming. And then he comes out on Friday and he gets he went -7, which is absolutely insane. And it was very, very frustrating because, Scheffler is always in play. So he's 7,800 here, very, very cheap. He's a great birdie maker and GPP play. No course history, but his stats are very, very solid. I think he's a nice upside play if he can get hot. Like, we've seen him go -7 on Friday. If he does that, on Thursday, if he even goes +2 at the worst, he's gonna make the cut and probably make a run on Saturday and Sunday. So that was really surprising. But I'm going right back to Scheffler. Hopefully it lowers his ownership. He has a lot of upside. 7,800. I like that play quite a bit, even though he did screw me a little bit, and probably a lot of people last week. Joel Damon, 7,700, finished 68th here last year. He's been very good with an average finish of 19 in his last 5 tournaments. He's been very, very good. He's great off the tee and on approach, and he has 8th in par 4 average. I like Damon quite a bit. Don't mind him in cash as well. 7,700 is not bad. I think he has some upside. He's been playing very, very well. Maverick McNeely, 7,500, a guy I had a lot of last week. I even put him in cash. I like playing this guy in cash. He's a cut maker. We saw him finish, he finished 8th last week. He missed a 4-foot birdie putt to go and finish 4th on the 18th hole. I was, hoping he would make that putt, but he missed it, which really surprised me because he is a good putter. But yeah, McNeely, no history here. He's been playing some great golf. Finished 8th last tournament. He's been consistent cut maker, making 14 out of 17 cuts this season, and he's a great putter as well. I'm going to keep going back to McNeely. Don't mind him in cash as well. Harold Varner III, 7,500. He's been playing pretty decent, making 6 out of his last 7 cuts. Average finish of 44 in his last 5 tournaments. Amazing stat fit for this course as well. I think he can do well here. A little bit underwhelming his last performance. I think he finished in the 30s or 40s. I honestly was expecting him to do a little bit better than that, but it's not an awful performance from Varner. I think he's safe to make the cut here, and there's always some upside with Varner as well. Mark Hubbard, 7,400. He's been playing fantastic with finishes of 12, 37, 43, and 33 since the return to PGA. Pretty good stat fit for this course, and should have a good week if he keeps his run going. Hubbard has been somebody who's really surprised me. This guy usually is priced down in the, the 6,500 range, but priced up at the 7,400 range here. Don't mind it. He's been playing some great golf. Hopefully he keeps it going. I like Hubbard quite a bit as a GPP play. Cameron Tringale, 7,300. Someone I had in cash. No, I had him in my single entry last week. Did very, very good. He was up there in that top 5 for a little bit. I think in that second or third round, and ended up having kind of a poor third round, but had a very, very good final round as well too. Ended up finishing in the 20s, and he was 6,500 last week, so he's a great play. I had him in my single entry lineup, like I said. It was awesome. But he finished 30th last tournament. Great cut maker, has made 12 out of 14 cuts this year. Little overpriced at 7,300, he really is, but he should be a nice floor play. But I think the upside is kind of limited, but I think he's safe to make the cut. All right, and then like I said, there are going to be some other guys I want to add in that 7K range. Some guys I'm eyeing, and then I'll add those throughout the week on Patreon in my model. All right, the punt range, honestly, not much here that I had to put a 7,000. I had to put a 7,000 priced guy in my punt plays. Brian Stuard, Finished 33rd here last year. Has been playing very well since with finishes of 30, 20, 50, and 43 since the return from the layoff. Has made 15 out of 19 cuts this season with 2 top 10s. I like Stuard. 7,100 is a good price. He did very, very well last week. He was even in that top 10, I think, at some point. 7,100 is not bad. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, but I like him as a kind of a punt play. Stuard Sink, 6,300, has made 8 of his last 9 cuts here, which is very interesting. And 9 out of 11 cuts this season. He's a cut maker. I don't think there's much upside, but he's been making cuts recently. If he makes a cut here at 6,300, that's big. Other than that, there are some guys I'm looking at in the punt range, and I'll be adding those guys in, but nothing really jumped out at me besides, Sink that jumped out at me, and then Stuart jumped out at me as well. All right, guys, that's about it. Make sure you guys check out my Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. $5 a month, best price out there. Get my full statistical model, the model I showed you guys earlier, my player pool cheat sheet, my core plays article, which should be done by tomorrow, my example cash build, my lineup percentages, and my rankings. Thank you guys so much, everybody that signs up. It really helps me out. It's not cheap, getting all these stats into all my models that I do. It's not. So it really helps me out if you guys sign up. Recently got 100 patrons, so thank you guys for that. Hopefully we keep growing. And yeah, hopefully we have another good week building off of last week. Hopefully we make it 2 winning weeks in a row. And yeah, good luck, guys, and let's get it.